Hello all, it's Jim from Charcoal Crusaders. Gonna do a few side dishes today. Gonna make some guacamole. Gonna do a little bit of steak, a small amount that we're gonna cut into strips to add to the meal. And later I'm gonna do something of a medley, if you will, on the grill. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is guacamole. I can't claim most of this recipe because I've seen it done a million times. Everyone's a little bit different, but the basic ingredients are always the same. I might add a little bit of a twist or two at the end. Hopefully, let's see what's gonna happen. But first, what do you need? 1 Roma tomato, firm. That's why I like the Romas for these. Cilantro, 1 lime. Couple of cloves of garlic, 1 jalapeno, either a yellow onion and or a purple onion and or a white onion. We'll get back to that and I'll clarify that. 1 habanero, optional. We'll come back to that also. 3 avocados, and make sure they're soft. If they're hard, it's a lot more difficult to get it together. You need a garlic press, a fork, cutting board, a knife, a wee bit, a pinch of salt, little cling wrap, a bowl, flexible spatula, little bit of water, a couple of bowls because we're going to separate this. I'm going to try out a new gizmo. It's for squeezing lemons and limes, etc. Don't know if I like it, but it's supposed to be a lot easier. We'll find out. And lastly, this is a handheld blender. I've never seen anybody use one of these before for guacamole. It's going to give it a different look. I use this for a lot of different stuff. They're great. We'll see how that works out too. All right. First thing we got to do is we got to cut open the avocados. Pull that out. Oh, I've got a little bag here for stuff you do not need to save the pits to keep it fresh. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. Take your spoon and just scoop it right out. Put it right in that bowl. Get it all. Good stuff. Okay, got that. Going to take your cloves, put them in that garlic press. And I don't often use it. I can only think of a couple times I use a press. I think you lose some of the flavor, but it's the best for this. Just gotta squeeze it in there. Okay. Take our lime. Yeah, we'll cut this one today. Cut it in half. Let's see how our new gizmo works here. Pretty good. Okay. Next, we don't need this whole bunch of cilantro. I'm going to take about 1/3 of it, and we're going to save the rest for later when we do the medley. So I'm just going to cut the tops off. I really don't like the stems if we don't have to, at least not for this. It's about 1/3, roughly, more or less. Put that in there. You can chop it up if you want to, but you really don't need to because that hand blender is going to do the job. So that's about as much cilantro as we need right there. It's, you know, that's a strong thing, so don't make too much of a good thing. All right. Next, the jalapeno. I'm going to cut the top and the bottom off of this and discard. Okay, now, most don't want the seeds in there because that's the hot part. Most people aren't going to want that in there. So I'm going to cut this thing in half. Take a spoon. I'm going to come in a little bit closer for this because most people don't do it this way. I don't like cutting it with a knife. I'm always afraid I'm going to cut myself. Just take that spoon into the center and just kind of gut it. You'll get it out. There, see? It'll peel it right out of there. That's what you want. And we'll cut this up here in a minute. Where's that other half of that? There we go. Just stick it on that thing and peel it out. Now, I'm going to rinse it real quick to make sure I got all the seeds out. I don't see any, but you never know. All right. We're going to, no seeds. Okay, we're going to cut this up into smaller pieces. Out of your way. Real good, real good. Okay, like I said, one and or the other of these onions. Yellow is traditional, purple is good, and white is good also. It's a different flavor. Today, I think I'm going to go with traditional, so I'm going to use half of this yellow onion. Put the other half to the side because we're going to use it with our medley also. That's a little bit more than half. I don't want more than that much. So we'll take that out of there also. Yeah. I'll peel back the first layer, which leaves us with this. It shows. So you don't want much more than that much onion, regardless of the size of the onion. That's about what you want. We'll cut it up a little bit. One thing about using this hand blender is it saves a lot of chopping time. Okay. Salt, sea salt. I've made it known before, I do not like to use salt when we don't have to, and when we do have to, use a very little bit. And this is going to be a very little bit. That's it. No more than that. It'll kick it off. There we go. Now, you'll note that we haven't done the tomato yet or the habanero yet. So let's rinse here real quick. All right. Take your fork, kind of mix it around and just crush it all together. No big deal. This is how it's traditionally done. Use a fork, or even it's like a big salad fork, works even better. I saw somebody on the internet doing that. It's pretty smart. We're just going to kind of stir that all together. All right, got it. Now, here comes the hand blender, and this is where it gets great as far as I'm concerned. Let's just plug this thing in. Make sure we're going. We're going. Okay. You want to come in a little bit closer to watch this? It's modern magic. Can you see it? Beautiful. Unplug it first. Unplug it. Then wipe what's in there out of there. You don't want to miss a drop of this. This is really good stuff. Okay. We'll set this to the side. Now, okay, back up a little bit. That's great. Perfect. Going to take this bad boy. I like to cut the ends off of my tomatoes. Old habit. Maybe there's something smart about it. I don't know. But I'm going to cut this and I'm going to chunk it. And then I'm going to put it in there and we're going to mix it together. Now, a lot of people say they don't want the seeds. They'll take the seeds out of those tomatoes ahead of time, and that's fine. They say it makes it a little bit more watery. Well, when you do this with the hand mixer, it's got a little bit finer consistency. The watery is not going to happen. And the seeds add both nutritional benefit and added flavor. So that's the way I like it. Not too finely chopped, but small enough pieces to where they kind of fit right in with the guacamole. We're gonna mix all this together. Okay, as it stands right now, that is excellent guacamole, but we're going to change it up a little bit. There's a little piece of onion right there. We don't need that. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing. Most people don't like a lot of heat, if any heat, in their guacamole. I like a little heat. This is the habanero, and they're pretty powerful for those of you that don't deal with them a lot. Yeah, it's something you want to be cognizant of. I like heat, and I'm only going to take half of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into two different bowls. All right, that's one, and that's two. I have in the past forgotten which one I put the habanero in because I'm going to grind it up and you won't see it. So, just saying. I'm going to get it all, get it all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Now, half of this habanero is plenty. This is a small habanero. See, there's not a whole lot of seeds in there. So, be careful. Make sure you really go through it. Because if you don't, you'll get a chunk of habanero, and I don't mind it, but even some folks that like it hot don't like it either. Now, I've done it this way too because I've smashed up the tomatoes. I like it that way. It's not quite as colorful. I could have added them afterwards, which is a good option also. Okay, unplug it. Clean it off. There you have it. All right, now, this is a trick that I've learned a long time ago when I was a kid, bussing tables in a restaurant, and I've since seen it on the internet several times. But this is how you can not have to make this just before you eat it because you're worried about it's going to go bad. You know, virtually everywhere I go says you got to make it just before you're going to eat. Well, I don't believe that. You don't need to. What I'm going to do, if you want to get a little closer, I'm going to spread it out like this, like I'm making a top of a cake, I guess. I don't know. Now get it covering the whole top. Take a little bit of water and put the water on top. You don't need a lot, just enough to stop the oxygen from getting to the food. No oxygen, it'll take a long days before it'll start to turn. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the cling wrap on top of this, do the same with this one, and then we're going to go and do a small piece of meat that we're going to add to our meal later. So, all right, here we go. All right, and into the refrigerator it's going to go. Now when you're ready to serve it, just pull it out, obviously pour the water off, and give it a good stir like it never even happened. Okay, we're going to prep the meat a little bit. Again, I think when we take the break, I'm going to cook up some burritos. And along with the ground meat in there, it's nice to put a little steak in there. Adds a little bit of extra flavor. We can use the grill for the steak and for the medley, which we'll do later. A little bit stubborn. Okay. That's a nice looking piece of meat right there. Not much, it's probably a little less than half a pound, okay? You need the meat, you're gonna need a food bag, small bowl, 4, and I've done these before, a little bit of garlic salt, garlic powder, onion salt, onion powder. Very little. We don't need a lot of salt, but what we're going to do is we're going to put that into here just a little bit. Very, very little. Don't need much. I know it's not much, but that's what you need. Very little, because it's a small piece of meat. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this extra virgin olive oil in there. You can use avocado oil, which I like. You can use vegetable oil. Some people use peanut oil. I like this for this. Just a little bit. That's more than plenty. Okay. Now, kind of stir that all together. Kind of halfway to a paste, I guess. And we're just going to rub it right into that meat. Okay? Get that whole thing good. Push it in there. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, just pick it up. Put it in that bag. Seal it. We're going to put it in the fridge for just a few hours is plenty. And when we come back, we're going to do our medley and cook it all on the grill. See you in a bit. Okay, we've got our burrito stuff all made. Sits here. We've drained the water off of the guacamole, re-stirred it, looking good. So let's get going on the meat and such. What are you going to need for this thing? You're going to need the meat. Need a little bit of olive oil. Don't need that yet. Need my timer just in case. And we're going to go out with this iron skillet. That's the first thing we're going to do. Although it's not going to cook the meat. Oh, and we're going to need a little bit of beer. They're not paying me to say so, but when it comes to eating grilled food or south of the border stuff, Pacifico is the best. It reacts the best. But enough of that. What we're going to do first is we're going to just put a quick coat of avocado oil inside the iron pan. I mean, it pays to take care of this stuff. I've cooked on iron skillets that date back to the Civil War. And in fact, it's my understanding that the use of iron skillets, etc., goes back like 7,000 years to ancient China. So they've been around a long time, and they can last a long time. There's no reason your great-grandchildren can't be cooking with them sometime down the road. Okay, we got that looking right. Put this to the side. Pretty simple what we're going to do with this here. We're going to pull this out. We're going to bring it outside. Then I got to come back and get this. And I got to come back and get no salt seasoning, excuse me. I've shown it before. It's the way to go. And in fact, you know what? I can do that right now just so you see what I'm going to do with it. No sense in hauling more out than we need to. Just a thin amount on there. I mean, it's not a lot, but when it gets heated up on the grill, it means a lot. So that's about all you need for that. It's about like that, just enough to get the seasoning taste on there. Okay. I started the grill about 10 minutes ago. Yeah, that's about right. So we're going to get that thing ready. We're going to get the meat on. We're going to get this iron skillet on. Then we're going to come back and we're going to start looking at our medley. So let's go. Nice hot day in Florida. Gonna need that. All right, that's looking like it's getting going pretty good. Take that off. Okay, it's got a good start. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this iron skillet on there to let it start getting heated up. In the meantime, we're gonna work with the meat. A little bit of history about me, just so maybe some of this stuff makes a little bit more sense. I've had the privilege of living in a lot of different areas. I've lived in the upper Midwest. I've lived in the Florida Everglades. I've lived north of Fairbanks, Alaska, and I've lived in the Andes. And one thing I learned, especially about steak, when you're cooking steak for south of the border, if you will, they told me there's only one of two rules. If the steak is the main dish, of course, it's anywhere from medium rare to medium. But if it's for a side dish, like shish kebab or burritos, cutting it for burritos, etc., it has to be at least medium, no less than medium, which presents a small problem. When you put it on there, anything less than medium, or more than medium rather, you tend to lose moisture. It dries out a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece. We're just going to allow it to sit on there for a minute. It'll start picking up here in a minute. And we'll just wait on that. When it gets to searing really hot, we'll just flip it on every side. We'll make sure the entire piece is completely seared. Then we're going to move it a little bit off the heat, or we'll indirect it, and we're going to move our iron skillet over the charcoal. We want to get that thing really hot. So we'll wait for this to go a little bit. We'll be good. Shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. Okay, hold fast. I'll be right back. This is what we needed the beer for. Not a lot. Just enough to cover the bottom. That stuff will start to boil off. We'll end up probably having to put more on there. but this will tell us how hot it is. So let's go back inside and let's chop up some vegetables and maybe a little fruit too. Alrighty. What are we doing now? I'm going to put this, set my timer for 15 minutes just in case I forgot I've got it out there. And yeah, we're going to check in about 1 minute. I'm going to go out there and actually put the lid back on the grill, but we'll go through what you need here first. Okay, we got our cilantro from this morning. Got 3 different peppers here, bell peppers. They're not hot, they're mild. Got white onion, purple onion, what we left from this morning's yellow onion, plantains, and then 2 options. We've got a lime, and we've got a habanero. Okay, I'm going to go check this thing quick. Okay, real good, real good, real good, real good. All right, we're going to chop some of the stuff up. We're not going to put all of that in there. It's too much, and save a little bit for salad or whatever. Indeed, let me get a plate for that. All right, we've washed all this stuff. Smells good already. Seeds and all, nothing to stop you. Toss it in the pan. Got a little bag here for our scraps. These are the hearts of the peppers. Sometimes they're bigger than others. That's a bit much for me. If you like that, keep it in there. I'm not particularly keen on it. There's no particular way to cut these, and I never get too concerned with it one way or another. Okay, on the onions, I'm going to use about 1/3 of each of these onions, and this is 1/3 of the yellow onion. So we'll cut that up. You don't have to cut it real small, but you know, bite size is good. As you can see, I actually went against what I said. I did put all the peppers in there because they smell so fresh, I can't pass them up. Maybe a little bit more of that. Now the plantains. That is a strong onion. Cut the ends off. Now, unlike a banana, you do need to cook a plantain even though it's ripe. If you get one that's not ripe, don't even try to do this. That is strong. Don't even try to do this because it just won't taste right. I think I'll cut these a little bit more. It's a pretty big plantain. Okay, the cilantro. We're not going to use all of this cilantro in this. We're going to use most of it to season our charcoal, but we still need some in there. Just the tops. That's plenty. Now I got it right. Like I said, options first. Obviously citrus and vegetables. Some folks don't mind that, some do mind it. The way I've seen it down south is they will use this. They'll cut it into like 4 or 6 pieces and they'll just put it in there, and I like it that way. So that's how I'm going to do it. The other option is the habanero. If I was the only one eating this, I would cut this up and put it in there. I'm not the only one eating this, and these are pretty hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in there without cutting it. And I'll cook it along with the rest of them, and I'll just pull to the side and make sure that I get it. Okay, I think we've got everything we need. Got the cilantro, got this. Let's go and put it on the grill. Okay, we got it good and hot. See that? Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. Don't need that crust. We've got the pan good and hot. So, first, we're just going to take this cilantro. I'm just going to stick it right there. Nothing fancy. Put it right in there. Next, we're going to take some more beer and put it in there. Now just throw it in there. All right. Now, you want to close this thing for about 30 seconds. Make sure that you've got it's stopped. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. You can smell it. It smells great. Okay, a little bit more beer. All right, we're good. Yeah. Now you just want to agitate it. Move it around. Get it hot because it cools off a little bit when you put that beer in there at first, but it'll come right back. Probably move this out of our way. The only thing you've got to really concern yourself with getting cooked are the plantains. Everything else in here can be eaten with or without being cooked, of course. But the plantains, you want to make sure that they've got some, they're kind of done. All right, we're going to leave that for just a minute or two. Check it again in a moment. This should take somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 minutes because we're constantly moving it. See, that's what you want to see. It's boiling everywhere. That's exactly what you want to see. There's our 15 minutes. Okay. See that plantain? How it's starting to get really soft? See that? It's getting cooked. That's what you want to see. Okay, let's take a closer look. Okay, so the beer is just about cooked off, which is exactly what you want. That's how you want to finish it. Too much is okay, you can cook it off, but it's best when you get it cooked off right when these are done. And the way to know if it's done is basically to take one of these plantains, flip it over, and just see if it goes through it like butter. That's what you want to see. That's how you know that plantain is done. All right. Going to liberate the habanero. there's nothing wrong with a little bit of the dark stuff. It actually adds flavor. Okay. We're going to cover it for, I don't know, about 10-15 minutes. And we're going to start taking a look at this meat. Remember, you don't want anything medium rare. Because we're going to cut this in strips, now we're going to take a look and see where we're at. Right now, that's a little bit too rare. We're going to go a little bit longer on that. Okay, I'm going to pull that meat off of here and let it cool for a few minutes, and then we'll take a look at it and see what it's like. Okay. My sister and brother-in-law Jim are here to join us.
She's done it.
A word about my brother-in-law Jim. He's the only person that I know personally that's been grilling longer than I have. He is a grill master, a grill meister, and a charcoal crusader. I'm hoping I can talk him into doing a few of these to tap into his knowledge. Other than that, this is what the meat looks like right there. It's perfect. Perfect. You want to try the other?
Okay.
Excellent.
Real good.
All right. Well, here we go. That's it for this time. I think next time I'm going to do I think I'll do a buffalo roast. Until then, take care.